friends.
Welcome to the Nora and Becks Podcast.
I'm Nora.
And I'm Becks.
Today we're just going to be explaining kind of what this podcast is going to be. And just talk about why we're doing it. That's basically it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
Do you have anything you want to say before we get started?
Thank you for listening. If you clicked on this podcast and somehow found us, that's awesome. Thank you for being here. We hope, above all, that you have fun and you learn something new.
Yeah. And just appreciate the world of Minecraft content creating with us.
Mm-hmm.
So,
100%.
I guess to preface, I will just start with how we got into the whole Minecraft creator space and why we love it.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2020, I started watching Hermitcraft when season 7 started. And I started by watching Grian and eventually also watched Mumbo, and then I watched Impulse and Scar. And I've been keeping up with them for 4 years. So I've grown to love them all a lot. And during that time, Grian started Third Life, and I thought it was super, super cool, so I showed it to Bex. And it was like,
I was obsessed immediately the moment I watched it. And I think I had watched some of Mumbo's just redstone videos with you. Secret door within a door within a door, and those videos. But
classic.
Man, Third Life was something else,
Mm-hmm.
unlike anything I'd seen, and I was hooked immediately.
Yeah.
While watching Third Life, actually, we just watched Grian's perspective and maybe some of Scar, but they were together, so really we just watched Grian.
Right.
And I feel like we got on Discord calls too to watch together, especially the finale.
Yeah. I think the finale was actually the only one that we watched together of that season.
You're right. Maybe that was,
remember.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember sitting in my living room watching, and my mom would come in the room and be like, "What are you?" I was literally yelling at the TV and laughing out loud, and she was like, "What are you watching in here?" And she was so confused why Minecraft was on the TV.
I think it's really funny that the Minecraft videos will get more of a physical and audible reaction out of me than probably
100%.
Anything else. Why
100%.
is that the case?
It's
really
crazy. Know. I get so riled up. Well, then when Last Life came out, I was determined right from the start that I was going to watch every single person's POV. And I did it, except for up to the finale. I think I dwindled off the last couple episodes. I hate to admit it, but that is just the case.
And then we get to Double Life, which had a bigger impact on you. I didn't love it as much until recently. I've only ever watched Grian's POV or Mumbo's if he's on the server. Sometimes I watched Jimmy.
Which, gotta say, Grian was not up to very much mischief that season. Yeah. So I totally understand why your experience with that season was not the same level of hype as mine. But yeah, I throughout watching Third Life and Last Life, I loved watching it, but I was still you would ask me, you'd be like, "Hey, let's play some Minecraft." And I'd be like, it's really not into it. We obviously played a lot as kids on the Xbox 360, but and I played Java on the PC when I was in middle school, but I just really was not back into it as an adult. And then Double Life did something to me. I don't know what, but I do know what. It was the update with the Warden. I'm not really sure why, but the ancient city just really intrigued me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to play Minecraft again.
That's crazy to me that you always want to go to the ancient city.
I mean, even at that time, even when I did start playing again, and I was like, we're going to have a server and we're going to play, I would step foot in a cave and there would be a zombie, and I'd start having a mini panic attack.
Honestly, it was kind of a struggle for me to play with you on those early days because I was a seasoned player.
It was a struggle for me to play with me.
I didn't, I'd been playing for a long time. I didn't really get fazed by things. And then you would be hyperventilating over an Enderman.
Yeah,
that you
I don't
didn't
know
look
what
at.
that was
And
about.
it was like, it's not
I don't
going
know
to do anything to you.
Yeah,
Just
I
don't
don't know
look
what
at
that was
it.
about.
It was kind of funny,
We're
though.
over that now. We're
Yeah,
over that now.
you're a lot. You've improved greatly, and it's a joy to play with you now. But
Thank you.
Yeah, so you really loved Double Life, and from then on, we've just like continued to watch more and more perspectives and like just enjoy every season. I watched the first time I've watched through. Actually, I actually have never watched through all of them.
That's true. You did try your best with Secret Life.
Yeah, I just couldn't commit the hours, I guess. But I did watch more POVs. And I will say, I went back and watched every Life series perspective that Joel had, because I didn't watch any of them until Secret Life, I think.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Well, actually, no, because we were watching through his during
Limited
Life.
I feel like
sure.
I didn't, just because he was with Grian the whole time. Like, I don't think I watched anyone of the bad boys except for Grian.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So I think I might have watched Jimmy's perspective.
Yeah, could be.
But no, I genuinely did not watch Joel until recently, and I did a full deep dive. Watched all of his series. I watched all of his Empire season 2. I was mildly addicted to his content for a little bit.
Yeah, and then it was Jimmy.
I also rewatched all of Jimmy's Empire season. I didn't go back and watch his seasons because I actually have watched all of his perspectives, I think.
Yeah, you do.
From the beginning.
Yeah. I feel like we should bring it back to like full circle of the series that has now birthed this podcast.
Yeah.
Then we get to Limited Life, and I think it wasn't until like maybe maybe halfway through the series or a little further than that. I want to say it was Gizzleman's affirmations with Scar.
Uh-huh.
And he talked about, was that the moment? Was that when we first like heard a mention of the podcast, or did they mention it sooner? I can't remember.
I didn't hear anything about the podcast until you told me. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah. Okay. So when Skiz was giving his affirmations to Scar mentioned their podcast, Imp and Skiz podcast, and how he had talked about content creation and how it had just made Scar fall in love again with like why he was doing everything that he's doing and why he loves YouTube and Minecraft. And I mean, it might have been that moment, or it popped up in my YouTube algorithm. I honestly can't recall exactly, but one of those two things. I think the first podcast I ever saw pop up was when Tango came on as a guest. And, I just listened to it on Spotify. And I loved it. It was so fun. And honestly, like, they did talk about Minecraft a good bit, but they also just talked about life things and other games they played together. And, I don't even think I knew that Impulse and Skiz were, like, several decade-long best friends.
Yeah.
Let alone that all three of them live within a few miles of each other.
Yeah.
And hang out in real life. And I was like, yo, what?
Yeah, it's really cool. So you listened to those and then told me to listen to them.
Yeah, I've told you about it.
I think I was at your house and you played one of them.
Yeah, we listened to I think it was when we listened to the College Days podcast. I was just like, well, let's give it a shot and see, because I had listened to Tango on as a guest already, but I was like, let's see if you like this kind of content the way that I do. And so we were just like hanging out, doing stuff, driving around town, listening to it. Yeah. And it was so funny.
Yeah, and we both loved it. And I listened to all of the episodes, I think, on the drive home.
Yeah, you binged through them.
Yeah. And I've been caught up since then, really. Yeah. I haven't missed any.
I took a little while to get caught up, and then obviously it comes and goes month to month whether or not I'm caught up or if I'm like a couple behind. Mainly because I love it is.
Especially during the life series.
Oh my gosh, my hands were so tied up. Secret Life had all my free hours.
Yeah.
I mean, 17 people. I mean, it was no more than Last Life, but honestly, I don't know. I mean, I had way less going on, I guess, at that point in time.
I feel like these episodes from Secret Life were a lot longer than typically.
In some ways, they were. Some people had some longer ones. And yeah, I mean, Joel used to do ones that were like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then most all of them were like 30, 40, maybe an hour.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
But yeah, it was good stuff. Good season.
Very, very good.
But yeah. Him and Skiz.
So we've just been enjoying our podcast, I think for over a year. And
coming up on a year in April, I think.
Okay. That makes sense, I guess. But we thought it would be a cool idea to talk about the topics that they talk about on the podcast, and just bring a perspective that's different from theirs. Obviously, they are, a lot older than us, and they're dads, they have families, and they are, like, working
in a very different season of life than us,
Yeah, very, very different. So we thought it would be fun if we could, like, bring a perspective of, like, two girls in our 20s. And I thought, I would want to listen to that, I guess. But
same. I mean, it's incredible. Like, if you asked me if I wanted to start listening to a podcast that was two, like, 30 to 40-year-old dads talk about not just Minecraft, like, if it was just Minecraft, that's one thing, but just, like, about their lives and just the things that they're passionate about, I would have been like, I mean, I don't know, maybe, but like, I can't even begin to express how much joy it brings me listening to their podcast, especially when they're talking about their lives. Like, I love when they do their little weekly recaps. It's only happened like 2, maybe 3 times, but it's so funny. And like, yeah, just love it.
And I will say, like, even more than just enjoying it, I feel like I've learned from them. Like, I've learned a lot just because of, like, their life experience is so cool and unique, and so
their humility and their perspective on life is there's definitely something to be gained. Like, there's wisdom to be had for sure.
Definitely. And I feel like it has really impacted both of us a lot. So I guess that's a pretty good intro. I guess we should also say that we have been best friends for our whole lives as well, which is very cool.
We're basically Imp and Skiz.
Yeah.
Younger versions.
A lot younger.
And female.
Not a lot. Just a little younger, actually.
Yeah.
They're not that old.
Okay. Just double our age, it's nothing.
We already said in our 20s. And I'm almost 20, but
close enough at this point.
Yeah. So yeah.
But yeah.
I hope that you, if you're listening to this, enjoy our podcast. If you love Minecraft and you love these creators as much as we do, and you just want to kind of have a community of people that also love it, which is something that I feel like we haven't really found yet. Like,
we'll definitely talk on that more too.
Yeah. Finding two girls our age who love this world as much as we do is probably not incredibly common. Like,
but
especially if
they're out there for sure. They gotta be out there.
Hopefully they find us.
Come find us.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy the podcast.
Yeah, thanks again so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm excited. Looking forward to
I hope you have
making more episodes, hanging out.
Yeah, I hope you have a blessed day, whatever you're doing right now. Yeah.
All right.
We will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.